This is my cactus, and you can see it's got like a little bit of, you know, still, I don't know, pretty healthy, but it's got like 11 different babies growing off of here, and I feel like that might be part of why the rootstock is dying as quickly as it is, just because it's like sucking up way too many nutrients to make up for that. So what I did is I bought some other cactuses that I'm going to try to graft some of these smaller ones onto, so that maybe we can stop taking so many nutrients from this guy so that he can go ahead and heal up. Because if I could like just save this and find other things to graft all of this onto, which is going to be either hard or expensive because there's 12 cacti total, I would love to save this piece of dragon fruit so that I wouldn't have to like buy any more online, because I really need to start propagating that for cuttings to graft, and also just because dragon fruit, like, geez. And then these are all of the like mother of thousands, I guess. So many. Definitely lives up to the name. And then the Christmas cactus, that's starting to kind of, you know, look up a little. I need to cut some of it off so that it can propagate some new ones. I tossed all these broken leaves in here with a couple of the mother of thousands from before, and then I think that's still, no, those came from somewhere over here, I think. But anyway, if you look closely, like, you'll see that one already had pretty established roots. This one started popping off a little baby, along with these couple over here. That one doesn't have one yet, and I don't think, oh, that one's got one starting to pop off. That one doesn't yet. And then I think that this leaf and this other leaf at the bottom of this plant are probably just gonna rot. But yeah, very exciting. So I totally bought like these extra cactuses to try and you know, graft my moon cactus. So this one's got all kinds of little babies that I need to go ahead and repot so that I can get those growing, because once those are at least, you know, maybe a third as big as this guy, I could probably graft one of the colorful tops onto there. I also got one of these because I wasn't sure if this shape was gonna, or size actually was gonna work better. Yeah, this one probably, I could also probably take, like, maybe if I take the top portions off of both of those, then that'll give me like 2 extra growing cactuses, and I'll just use the spot where they got cut off to graft onto. And then I got this little spiky baby, all the little spiky balls. I'm gonna go ahead and repot this and give each of these as much space as possible so that they can all get to like this bigger size here, so that they're good for grafting too, because until I get some dragon fruit, this is what I have. So yeah. And I was so I don't know, heartbroken to see several containers in this kind of shape with just like so many of these I guess hardy hens and chicks. Many hens and chicks. So many. There were like 3 others in almost this exact state, but I think this one had the most babies popping off of it, so that's why I chose this one. You know, more bang for your buck, I guess. Okay, and they have these snapdragons clearanced. I think I need to like, I don't know, I need to look up whether I need to deadhead these or if I need to collect the seeds that may be up here if they got pollinated, but the stalk itself and all the leaves are like really, really hardy. It just looks ugly, so that's why they clearanced it at $1. There were so many of these. If I could have held like 4 or 5 of these, if I had remembered to grab a buggy and I wasn't gonna get poked by these guys while I was carrying these around, I would have got like 6 of these. And then I also got like this, you know, $1.50 basically. Got some red petunias because we have some purple ones that are like growing somewhere in the yard. I can't remember where exactly, but this kind of sort of matches the begonia over there. I really love this kind of like not quite red, not really pink, but definitely not orange color that's in between all those. I did go ahead and clip off the other blooms. I think what I'm gonna do is once I repot this into one of the hanging planters, I'm gonna like snip this one off too. I'm not sure if I want to like try pressing it or microwaving it, because the silica gel beads that I have that I tried on the other 2 blooms that I took off of there kind of made them look really gray. So yeah, hopefully either the flower won't start dying immediately, or I'll just be able to, yeah, figure out what I want to do with that basically. And then these little extra leaves that I put in here still haven't sprouted anything. And then I got these bigger leaves, that one that probably won't sprout anything because a chunk of it at the base there got torn off. And then this one that probably will sprout that I just stuck in here because I think it's calloused enough. Yeah, that came off of one that looks almost like these guys, but not exactly the same, from my mom's house. And then she had one of these that had all kind of little babies. This is from the one that I bought yesterday that had popped off when I got here, and I just stuck it in there. But this is another little baby, I think, from this one. And then this is supposed to be white irises, I think. So they're looking decently good. I think I need to water at least around here today. And then look at the progress! Yeah. So I'm sitting here trying to decide the best course of action or order to do things in, and I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is planting these 2 out in the front little garden patch first. That way, if I want to use these containers to start up some of these little cactuses, because on this one in particular, there's like so many little babies that just this one thing of 6 that I had left over from the last set of succulents isn't going to be enough for all of those. It won't even be enough for all of the babies on this guy, the Echinopsis hybrid rose quartz. Yeah, there's way more than 6 on just that guy, so I gotta figure out how I'm gonna separate them all so that nobody's competing for space and everybody, you know, has all the room to grow. So, yeah. Okay, one thing I did notice was that some of these flowers kind of have, if it'll focus, kind of have like a moldy kind of fuzzy stuff on them. You can see those buds there. So I'm gonna like slice those off to try and save the rest of the plant, so that, you know, it doesn't spread. Plus I looked up that if you want snapdragons to seed, you should let the flowers die and let the plant put all of its energy into the seeding. But if not, you want to, I don't have any shears, so I'm just using this really sharp knife that I have. That's why it's so big. It's just the sharpest knife I could find. Probably would be better to be using either shears or just a smaller knife, but I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol to sanitize the part of the blade that's going to be cutting into the plant, because we don't want germs. Because I didn't think about it a lot until I started, you know, researching into it recently, but it makes sense, you know, like it's an open wound, just like humans. So it said to cut at the base past where the leaf attaches, so that whole thing. So I'm just gonna do that with all of these dying flower buds, and then anywhere that I see the fuzzy stuff too, especially. And then after that is done, that's when we're gonna put this bad boy in the garden. Trying to leave as much healthy growth on here as I possibly can. Don't want to slice right down at your fingers. That's not smart. I think maybe this fungus or whatever kind of growth this is might have been why these were $1. But you know, hopefully if I can save enough of it to have the next batch of flowers seed in the garden, then we'll have some snapdragons next year. And I think that this whole top piece is probably just no good. So I think I'm gonna cut it right here, just above this next bud that's actually viable. Because that way, hopefully that won't spread to the rest of it. Most of this plant does look fairly healthy, so hopefully, you know, it's as healthy as it looks, at least. Now we're getting down to all of the fluffy vegetative stuff down towards the bottom here, and I think we've just got this one more bloom and leaf combo. Oh, took an extra leaf off with it. Yeah, so I think what I might do is grab maybe a Q-tip and rub a little bit of alcohol on just the spots that look maybe a little too fuzzy, not too much to like dry it out or anything. And I don't even know how great of an idea that's gonna be because I don't do a lot with plants, but logically it should make sense, so we'll see. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my Q-tip, and literally the only thing I care about doing is just making sure that the rest of this guy is not gonna be taken over by whatever fungus or sickness that this is. So we just want to clean up all the little extra areas that might have been infected, so that hopefully everything will heal okay without any further issues. And I think that this should be okay because, you know, these are supposed to be decently hardy and like full sun but cool-ish weather some of the time, I think, from what little tiny bit of research I have done. And I've seen plenty of people like actually putting a decent bit of the rubbing alcohol on plants generally, so I don't think it's particularly harmful, also because it just evaporates so easily. So yeah, I think this guy's good. And then these petunias looked okay. They didn't really have any issues. I think there's just like maybe this one little area of the stalk here. Just wipe off and re-sanitize my blade before I cut through that. Yeah. So probably just gonna cut at the base here. Careful not to cut into the main part of the plant. So yeah. And the rest of these, this one's got kind of little spots on the flower, but the rest of them look pretty good. So we're gonna get these out of the pots so that I can use these for the little cactuses. So this is the bed that we're working with this rose bush here. Because I don't think I want to get into extricating the plants from the weeds over here today, because I also have some potting to do. But yeah, probably I'll put the snapdragon closer to the rose bush and the petunia closer to the front. I think this is one of the areas where we had a petunia, one of the purple ones, but we'll see if I can find it. You can see the root system on the snapdragon. I'm going to break that up before I put it into the ground with some of this potting mix that I've stuck in there. You want these roots to come into a different growing pattern instead of just this circular thing they had to do because of the container. So I'm going to break them up a good bit before I actually stick it into the ground without breaking as many as possible. Just like masses of like roots stuck and growing together up in there. It feels so bad for them. Gotten that more or less extricated to where it'll start growing in new patterns. So we'll go ahead and stick this in the ground as best as possible.